We say what we mean, no games. We keep it real and raw. Let the truth come through. Judgment free zone. This space is for you. Come get comfortable, relax, get loose. Kick off your day, shake off that bruise. Welcome to the unfiltered corner. It's true. The unforgettable's here. I'm riding with you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Unfiltered Corner. I'm your host, the Unforgettable. How are you guys tonight? I hope everybody's doing well. It's Monday. I hope everybody's week was wonderful. And that it was great. I hope everybody's having a wonderful evening. I hope everybody had a nice day at work. And appreciated you got a job. Remember, we spoke about that, you guys. We spoke about appreciating having a job and shit. We spoke about that, you guys. So we're just waiting for people to make their way in here. And then we're going to start our show. We're going to start soon. Okay. All right. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm glad I can go live in my car, you guys. I know, like, this is my thinking cap, so this is where I can concentrate myself. I don't hear no noise in the background when I'm in my vehicle. That's why I'm so glad I can go live on my phone. When I'm upstairs, I hear everybody, too much noise, doors slamming, the kids playing, and all this stuff. Don't forget to like my video. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to invite your peoples on here today. So we're going to talk about something interesting tonight, you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, you guys, and invite people on here. We're going to talk something interesting tonight. Tonight, the topic is, you put this right here. You're not protecting the relationship. You're suffocating it. All right. That's what we're talking about tonight. You're not protecting the relationship. You're suffocating it. Okay. And we're going to get into nitty bitty, itty gritty pieces to this, because there's lots of people that think that, you know, they're protecting the relationship, but in reality, you're suffocating your partner. Okay. Hi, how are you, Chris? In reality, people don't understand. Some people think they're protecting the relationship. They're being like overwhelming, overbearing on their partner. And in reality, what you're doing is you're pushing your partner away. You're overwhelming them, and you're putting a lot of pressure on your partner. Okay, we're going to get down to, and we're going to see both sides. We're not only going to see the side of the person doing it, but also behaviors of the other person that may be causing this other person to do those behaviors. So we're going to be talking about that. How is your day? How are you? Good evening. I'm doing well, you guys. Thank you for being here with me. So like I said, tonight we're going to talk about you're not protecting the relationship. You're suffocating it. And I'm glad I can do my lives in my vehicle, because when I'm upstairs, I can hear the noise. Hi, AJ. I can hear the noise, the kids, they kind of distract me. My husband comes in and out of the room and he drives me crazy, and the kids too, and they need something. They become very needy, you guys. You know about that. But anyways, some people swear they're protecting the relationship, okay? Protecting it from who? That's what you got to ask yourself, right? Some people think they're protecting it, but you're protecting it from who? That's what you got to ask yourself. Protecting it from what is the second question, okay? Because if protecting it means controlling where your partner goes, who they talk to, what they wear, and questioning everything they do, you're not protecting the relationship, you guys, okay? What you're doing is you're suffocating it, okay? Is there justice? It's lovely to see you here tonight. Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. Everybody, don't forget to invite people, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and share this. We need people to come in here and be part of this live to start listening into some interesting topics that we have. I have plenty of videos up on YouTube. But I'm so glad I can go live on my phone. All right. But anyways, so you're not protecting it, you're suffocating it, okay? Love isn't supposed to feel like supervision, you guys. Yes, thank you, Is There Justice. It's called controlling. Is There Justice make a good point. That is called controlling. It's not supposed to be like you're in an interrogation. You're not on probation. You're not on parole with your partner. You know what I'm saying? That's not the way it's supposed to feel. Okay? You know, it's not supervision. It's not overbearing. It's not overwhelming. You can't be doing that to people, you guys, okay? And a relationship can't breathe if one person is constantly tightening the grip. When one person keeps on being on top of you and like controlling, like Is There Justice says, like it's the relationship's not going to work out, and it can't breathe. It can't function. Okay. You can't have one person like, you know, holding on to a rope and pulling every time they want something. You know what I'm saying? Or they want a certain behavior or something. You can't have that. It's not one-sided. A relationship works with two people together. All right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, you guys. Now, we're going to talk about what people think protecting a relationship look like, all right? What people think that a protecting, because we're going to put it in quotations, a relationship looks like, okay? These are common things people say. I'm just looking out for us. You ever come around a partner that says, I'm just looking out for us? No, no, no. Hi, Mike. I'm not yelling. I'm talking. I'm not yelling. I'm talking normal. I'm just having a good old time. This is just me. This is a judgment-free zone. This is just me. I mean, if you don't want to be here, you can see your way out. I'm not trying to be rude, but this is the way I talk. This is me. I'm just being real. And I apologize if you're taking it that way, but I'm not yelling. You know, they say, I'm just looking out for us. Nah, you're looking out for you. You're not looking out for the other partner. You're looking out for yourself. But that's common things people say. I don't want anyone disrespecting our relationship. That's a common thing somebody else says when they think they're protecting their relationship. Okay? I don't want anyone disrespecting our relationship. Are you sure that you don't want anybody disrespecting your relationship? Or is it a one-sided deal? Like, is it you trying to control the relationship and your partner? Another common thing a person says when they think they're protecting their relationship is, I'm just setting boundaries. Well, first of all, what do you mean you're setting boundaries? You're supposed to be one. You and your couple are supposed to be one. You're supposed to be together. You're a team. You're not supposed to set boundaries on one side and not the other. Like, it's supposed to be together. The boundaries are supposed to be set together, not one person, not one side. It's a two-way street, you know? It's a two-way street. You don't set boundaries on one side. What happened to the other person's boundaries? Are you respecting your partner's boundaries as well? When you're with somebody in a relationship, you're supposed to have boundaries, okay? Together. Because you guys are a team, okay? But sometimes those boundaries turn into controlling people. They turn into monitoring. You know what monitoring is? When they're monitoring you, they're on top of you. They're looking through your phone. They're watching everything you do. They're checking your location, everything like that. That's monitoring and watching you, observing you. Like almost like a satellite, almost like a camera consistently on you. And then they turn into jealousy disguised as concern. That's a big problem. Jealousy disguised as a concern. It's not a concern. I'm going to tell you guys something. There is jealousy that's healthy, and then there's the unhealthy jealousy, okay? And we won't talk about that further on. But there's good and bad jealousy. It's okay to feel jealousy over your partner. Like if somebody's acting up and somebody's kind of like acting fresh with your partner, and your partner is like feeding into that, you have right to feel jealous. That's your partner, okay? Or if somebody's coming to flirt with your partner, that's your partner. You're getting, and it's not even jealousy. It's territorial. You get a little bit territorial, okay? But the jealousy that's very sick, like you're consistently accusing the other person of doing things or being in places they're not supposed to and all this stuff. No. That's a sick jealousy, okay? People often confuse protection with possession. They become very possessive with their other partner. It's not protection. You're becoming very possessive. You want control over them. That's all it is. And they confuse it. You know, you can't be possessive with your partner. They have right to breathe. They have right to their privacy. They have right to respect. And they have right to have boundaries just as much as you do. Okay? Now we're going to get into the signs you're actually suffocating the relationship. Okay? These are signs that you're actually suffocating your relationship. The first thing is so we're going to break it down. Over monitoring. When you're over monitoring a person, remember I told you, you're kind of like observing. It's almost like a camera, a consistent camera on top of your partner. So I'll give you an example. Checking phones. Listen, when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about it because I've lived it with my husband. I used to be like this. I've had a fair share of both sides. I've been the suffocating one. And I've also been on the other side too, been suffocated. So I can talk out of experience. I'm thankfully not like that today. Because there's no point in doing that. Because this is the way I see it. If a partner is going to cheat on you, they're going to do it anyways. If somebody's going to do something behind your back, they're going to do it anyways. You can look and monitor. Whatever they're going to do, they're going to carry it out anyways. Which is sad, right? It's truly sad, but it's really going to happen anyways. You know? Sometimes people think by doing this that they're going to keep their partner, right? They think they're going to keep their partner, that they're, that they're going to, this is love towards their partner. No, it's not that at all. Okay. I personally leave my phone open. So my husband, if he's like, hey, can I use your phone for a second? Of course. I pass it right to him. Open, no issues, no questions asked. You know what I'm saying? I pass it to him. And we build that confidence and that trust, right? Now, another example of over monitoring is tracking locations. That's a big one. If you have to check phones, wallet, pockets, get out of the relationship. Absolutely. I agree. Is there justice? I absolutely agree with that. You can't trust your partner. You shouldn't be in a relationship with that person in the first place. Okay? You're right. You have to be checking phones. You don't trust that person. Why are you together then? Okay. The tracking locations is, I'm going to break it down to you guys. If you want to have the location onto your partner for safety issues, if anything happens, that's different. But there are partners that will have their partner turn on the location just to know where they're at every time of the day, every minute of the day. That's controlling and that's sickening, okay? They like to watch everything their partner's doing, where they're at. Like, they're watching them to see where they're going to go. See, when my daughter was in a relationship with the last boy we're talking about, because Is There Justice knows what I'm talking about, it was like that with him. He would tell her, why she's shutting off her location, turn on your location. I was like, that's sick and that's controlling and that's narcissistic behavior. I told my daughter, okay? The funny thing is, she couldn't shut off her location, but he could. And I also told her, even if he didn't shut it off, what makes you think he's not cheating on you at the mall? He could say he's hanging around with his friends. You don't know what he's doing. Just because he's letting you know where he's at doesn't mean he's not going to cheat. Like I said earlier, a person's going to cheat. They will cheat anyways. They're going to do it regardless if they have the location on, if they have the location off. It doesn't matter. If a person's going to cheat and do you dirty, they're going to do it anyways. Okay. Now, another example of over monitoring, you guys, is watching every social media interaction. Oof. Meaning you're watching your partner, what they're doing. So let's say you and your partner are on Facebook together, your friends on Facebook, right? And you're watching what photos your partner likes and hearts and comments on. And you're also watching what the other people do to your partner's social media. Are they commenting? Who's reacting to it? Okay. watching every social media interaction, just kind of to make sure that, they're not crossing the line or somebody's crossing the line with them. I think that that's like draining. That over monitoring is fucking draining, you guys. Okay. Now, this is another sign you're actually suffocating the relationship. This is the isolation part. Okay. The isolation part, we already spoke about the over monitoring. Now we're going to speak about the isolation part. Not wanting your partner around certain friends. That is very controlling. You can't get with somebody and expect them to drop everybody in the blink of an eye. Those friends were there before you were even in the picture. Okay. See, I would understand if there's a friend that's causing problems within your relationship, but that's up to your partner to put boundaries with that person. Not up to you. It's up to your partner. And it's up to you to express to your partner how you feel. If these friends are causing chaos within your relationship or crossing boundaries, you express yourself to your partner and you have your partner speak with those friends. But if you're trying to, you're not wanting your partner around friends they already had before you in the picture, that's very controlling. And it's not okay and it's not healthy. Everybody has the right to have friends. Everybody has the right to associate and socialize with people, especially people they had before you even came into the picture. Okay. Another one is getting uncomfortable when they have a life outside of you. Getting uncomfortable when they have a life outside of you. You cannot get uncomfortable with your partner because they have. So before you got with your partner, maybe they had a routine. Maybe every Sunday they hung out with their friends, or they had lunch with their friends, or they went on, they went bowling, or they did something together, or every Wednesday. It doesn't matter, right? And every Wednesday, right? And you want to come into your partner's life, you guys, and then you want to kind of feel uncomfortable about, the life that they have outside of you. You can't do that. You can't do that to a person, the person you're with. They had a life before you made it into their life. I mean, there are certain things you do change with a partner, when you get with somebody. When you get with someone, there's certain things that you change, to better the relationship, right? There are things that you change to better the relationship, but there are things that, why should your partner change it if there's nothing wrong with it at all? It's things that they did before you came into the picture. You know what I'm saying? Now, we already discussed over monitoring and we discussed isolation. Okay. Now we're discussing constant suspicion. All right. When a person is constantly suspicious of their partner. And this is examples of that. Making your partner feel guilty for wanting independence. Okay. Everybody has a right to independence. You and your partner. You guys can be independent. You need space. You have the right to space from your partner. You have right to breathe. That makes the relationship strong. Yes, it's good to be together and hang out and be together, but then to you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't be doing that to your partner. They have right to do that. It makes a relationship strong because it makes you want to see your partner even more when they're out and about and then they come to see you. That's how I feel about that. And you guys can agree to disagree, right? So I'm going to give you an example. Always assuming something shady is happening. When you assume that something shady is happening with your partner, that gets draining on your partner. They don't want to be listening to you nag on top of them, assuming that they're doing some bad shit. You know what I'm saying? You have no proof. So why are you assuming? People get tired of that. People want to walk away from relationships because of that. because it gets tiring. It gets draining. It gets overwhelming. It becomes like a burden in your relationship. Can't assume somebody's being shady without you having proof or without you seeing it with your eyes. Okay? A relationship needs space to stay healthy. Who agrees with me? Put your hand up. Who agrees with me? Who agrees that a relationship needs space to stay healthy? I do. I believe it. I believe that a relationship needs to, like, you need to desire your partner. Like when they go to work and you guys are doing your own thing, okay? And, you know, you going to work or doing your own thing at home. That's desirable. You desire to see your partner at the end of the day. You get excited. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, I'm going to see my baby, my love, my boo, whatever you want to call it. Okay? It needs space to be healthy. Everybody needs their space. They need their breathing time without you. Because let me tell you something. I've seen relationships that they're consistently together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it comes to the point that they're annoyed with their partner. Any little thing of their partner bothers them. And that causes a lot of argument within the relationship. Yeah, fuck up my face. You know, it causes a burden on your partner. Okay. Now, I'm gonna break it down to you guys where this behavior usually comes from. Okay. But I'm going to talk on both aspects because I have something to say on the other person. Where this behavior usually comes from. A lot of people behave like this and they overbear their partner and they're overwhelming their partner and they're suffocating their partner. You know why? Because of past betrayal, because they've been through betrayal before. They've been betrayed in a relationship. Absolutely is there justice. You lose your own identity. Okay? It's because of past betrayal. It's because of insecurity. They're not secure with themselves. They don't feel pretty good enough for a person. So they're insecure with themselves. So their insecurity makes them treat you that way. Okay? Another reason why is fear of abandonment. Maybe it's a person that's been abandoned all their life. There's people that have been abandoned since they were children and their parents decided to abandon them. Then they were adopted and those people kept on abandoning them and they went from home to home to home. And then they've dealt with other relationships that have abandoned them. So it's fear of abandonment. You know what I'm saying? Also, because of previous toxic relationships. People that have been in relationships that are shitty and toxic and abusive, because we can't keep that one out. You know, that's where it usually comes from, you guys. Also, wanting control to avoid getting hurt. Wanting control to avoid getting hurt. Imagine a partner just trying to control you because they avoid of getting hurt. They're trying to avoid getting hurt. That's sick. And it's crazy to me. Sometimes people suffocate relationships because they're trying to prevent pain before it happens. I'm going to read that again. Sometimes people suffocate relationships because they're trying to prevent pain before it happens. Before it even happens. They're like trying to predict the future with you. You can't do that. You can't predict the future. Hell yeah, that's a red flag. Big red flag. You can't predict the future. Trying to prevent the pain before it happens. You don't even know what's going to happen with that person. Why are you assuming? That's assuming. You know? You can't do that to people. Like I said earlier, if a person's going to cheat on you, they're going to do it anyways. You get nothing out of behaving that way. All you're doing is not only pushing away your partner and overwhelming them, you're basically putting an end. It's like a funeral. You're sending it right into a funeral, this fucking relationship. Like out the fucking door. Okay? But also, look at how much energy you're putting into over monitoring, overwhelming your partner, assuming, trying to prevent these things from happening. See how much energy goes into that shit? It's draining. That's not fucking healthy. Okay? It's not healthy at all. You dig in the grave, buddy. Absolutely. Dig in the grave, absolutely. It's insane. You know, you're pushing your partner away yourself. And you know how much you're draining yourself from doing that? What do you get out of it? What do you get out of it? I've learned this. Listen, this is coming from a woman that's 42 years old. I've been married with my husband. I've been with him 20 years. We're going to be 21 years together, okay? And let me tell you, I used to be like this years ago. Yeah, stressing yourself out. Exactly. Let me tell you something. I used to be like this years ago, okay? And I was like, what the fuck? I was draining the life out of myself. And then I came to understanding now that if somebody's going to do increased cortisol, exactly. And then I'm like, if somebody's going to cheat on me, they're going to do it anyways. What the fuck am I getting out of over monitoring this man, checking his phone, his messages? Listen, Hispanics have a saying, el que busca, encuentra. You know what that means, you guys? If you seek, you shall find. If you're seeking on that phone, you're going to find some shit. You know what I'm saying, you guys? So I don't want to seek and look. I just took under the understanding that if he's going to do it, he's going to do it anyways. But I was draining myself. Fucking overprotecting my relationship because I didn't want nobody to take him away from me and I didn't want him to cheat on me. But he was going to do it anyways if he did. So I don't understand why I had to like do that for. Now, like after years, is that I comprehended it. And looking back now, I see myself like, oh my God, I wasted so much energy. I was drained. I was making myself cry. I was making myself sick. I wouldn't eat. I couldn't focus. I couldn't get my shit done because of this. It's not fucking healthy for your mental health to be doing this. Okay? Now, we gonna talk about what happens when someone feels suffocated. Okay? What that person feels like when you're suffocating them in your relationship, or you're overwhelming them, like you trying to keep them to yourselves and isolating them from their friends or the people they talk to and shit like that. Okay? Because I was one. Whenever I seen anybody like hearting my husband's stuff or liking my husband's stuff or anything, or any type of interaction that I saw off, okay, I was inboxing people and be like, hey, he's my husband. Back the fuck up. What? What was I getting out of that? That's up to him to set those boundaries. That's up to him to have self-respect and respect me as a woman. That's up to him. I don't need to be inboxing anybody. I don't care if it's his friends. I don't care if it's his fam. I don't care who the fuck it is. I don't need to be wasting energy on that. I don't need to waste energy on that. Absolutely not. Because what am I getting out of it? Because I could talk shit to that person and I don't know what the fuck he's doing in his own time. Obviously, we're here 20 years together because, yes, we have broken trust in the past, but we've worked on it. It's hard to build back. Trust me. So now we're going to talk about what happens when someone feels suffocated. They start feeling trapped. Imagine feeling trapped like you in a jail. Trapped. They feel cornered, like a mouse in a little corner, like that. That's not a good feeling. Feeling trapped. You know what happens when you trap a mouse in a little corner or a little animal, whatever it is, and you trap them in a corner? They get desperate. They're trying to fucking run away. They're trying to survive. They go into survival mode. They're trying to fucking jetpack it out of there because they're in survival mode. Same thing with your relationship. You start making them feel trapped, they're going to try to fucking make it out of there. ASAP. Run. Skedaddle. They're going to run out of there. because they feel cornered. They feel like they're constantly proving themselves, constantly showing you their phone. Look, there's nothing there. Or like always giving you explanations. You know what I'm saying? Or look at my phone, look at my messenger, look at my Instagram, look at this. Like a person that you constantly have proven themselves, they get tired, and it's gonna get mentally draining and mentally overwhelming, and they're not gonna want to deal with that shit anymore. Because they're gonna think, if you trust me and you love me, right, and you care for me, then I don't need to be proving myself to you. Because you should know. You should know what I'm about. I'm your partner. They're going to get tired. Okay? The relationship begins to feel like a job. Oh my God. Imagine that, a relationship feeling like a job or an interrogation. Starts to feel like every time every time your partner's coming home and or you're on the phone or whatever. Imagine interrogation time. You think your partner wants to talk to you when you're making them feel that way, like they're in an interrogation room consistently? That's causing your partner anxiety. That's making them not want to be around you. Because they feel like they're being monitored and interrogated consistently and nagged on. This is coming from a woman that did this. I know. And I've also dealt with it. Don't get it twisted. Eventually, I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to lead to this. Okay? Eventually, all this behavior, all this feeling trapped, and they feel like they're consistently proving themselves to you. They always got to prove where they were at. They always got to prove who they were with. All this was my last relationship, plus my ex was avoided. So glad I've been out this for 1 year, 6 months now. I never want to have to go through this again. I'd rather be single than deal with this shit. Absolutely, AJ. I agree. It's not worth it. It's draining. And let me tell you, AJ, if you dealt with that shit, make sure that when you're in the next relationship, you don't do the same to your partner. Because sometimes when you're in a relationship like this for so long, right, that they're doing it to you, you carry that habit, those behaviors within you to your next partner. Make sure you don't do it too. You get where I'm coming from? So eventually, all the feeling of the entrapment that you're making your partner feel like they're trapped, they feel like they're constantly proving themselves to you, constantly telling you where they're at, constantly and everything. They're always proving their point or proving something to make you happy and make sure you don't fight with them. Let me tell you, it eventually leads to emotional distance. It leads to emotional distance. They start to feel like they're detaching emotionally from you because they feel like you're overbearing them, overwhelming them. You're mentally draining your partner. Hi, Denise. You're overwhelming and overbearing your partner. You're draining them mentally. And they don't want to have any attachment to you emotionally. So it slowly starts to drift apart. You start to see a detachment issue. You start seeing them act different. You start seeing that they don't respond the same. Like when you text them or when you call them, they start to act that way. It's not as urgent. The response is not as urgent to them anymore. Or anything, or even speaking. It's not urgent. Nothing is urgent to them anymore because they're emotionally detaching themselves from you slowly. Okay? I have had a lot of healing and therapy. I've been on both sides, so I will be healthy. Absolutely. You have to. You have to. It's good that you're healing, and that's great to hear, AJ. Because it's not good. Healing is good because when you heal, you don't bring those bad habits and those behaviors into your next relationship. Okay? Now, It also, all this behavior also eventually leads to resentment. They start to resent you and not like you. And they start to like not want to be around you as much, not spend time around you. They rather avoid it. They become avoidant, like AJ Wilson said. They become avoidant. They don't want to be around you, trying to avoid laying down in the same room with you or talking over the phone with you. They start to put up excuses every time you're texting them. Oh, I'm busy right now. I'm at work. Things they didn't do, they start doing it because they start to build that resentment towards you. Okay? They want to be around a person like that. So they start to detach themselves. You know, they just imagine not wanting to be in the same room with you, be on the phone consistently how they used to be, text with you consistently how they used to be. Resentment is bad. When they start building resentment, that's a freaking big red flag, and that's bad in a relationship. Because sometimes they ain't no coming back from that. Also, this eventually leads to secrecy. They start to hide the most stupidest shit from you, or they give you your own room. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. It leads to all type of behaviors because they don't want to be around you. They're avoiding you because now they resent you now because of what you put them through. Your partner, you're putting them through. It leads to secrecy. They feel like, hello, Teresa, how are you, baby girl? It eventually leads to secrecy because now they feel like they're walking on eggshells with you. So they feel like they have to hide everything from you because anything's going to set you off to start fucking with your partner. I'm great, baby girl. I'm great. I'm thankful you guys are here with me. So imagine they'll start hiding shit from you because they're avoiding getting into arguments with you. They're avoiding to getting into it with you. They're avoiding to even have communication with you because they know that it's always going to lead to some toxic ass shit. And they're trying to avoid it. And they start putting everything into secrecy. Everything's going to be a secret from now on. They start to put fucking passwords on their phone. They start to like hide things from you. Not be completely open and honest with you how they were before. Because they don't feel they can trust you anymore. They don't feel like that trust is there. They don't feel like they can confide in you to tell you things because they know how you're going to react. That's why. Ironically, the behavior meant to protect, so we're going to put into quotations, to protect the relationship can actually push somebody away. I'm going to repeat it again. Ironically, no, run, don't walk. Absolutely, Teresa. Ironically, this behavior meant to protect the relationship can actually push someone away. And then they'll act surprised when they're acting different with you and they've changed. You're pushing them away. And sometimes when you push them away, you start pushing them away to somebody else's arms. It happens, you guys. Somebody else that's not making them feel this way. Or pushing them right out of the relationship and just to be single and do their life. Either or. Start pushing them away. There's a disconnect there. It becomes very disconnected. Okay? I'm going to explain to you guys, right? The difference between boundaries, right? And control. Difference between boundaries and control. Now, who here knows what boundaries are? And who knows what control is? I know you guys know. We all adults here. And I'm going to break it down to you for you guys clearly. Okay? Healthy boundaries, right, are respect, when you respect your partner in every way, shape, sort. You don't disrespect them. You respect them wherever you guys are, whether it's in your home, whether it's outside, whether you're at a party, wherever you at. Those are healthy boundaries. You respect them. Communication is a healthy boundary. Thank you, Teresa. Teresa says boundaries you choose. Absolutely. Absolutely. So communication is key in a relationship. You both have the right to communicate how you feel to your partner. It should never feel like a one-sided deal. Control you are not choosing. Okay. You are not choosing. Absolutely. Absolutely not. Control is they're in control of your life. You know, like a remote control, like that. They're playing you like a remote control, like a game, like that. Absolutely. Communication is key in a relationship. You have right to say how you feel to your partner, and they have right to say how they feel. And they have to be willing to listen. You have right to be heard. And you have right to tell your partner how you feel and express what has bothered you and what bothers you. And kind of meet in the middle with your partner. Because it doesn't go one way. It's both. It's both. Communications is for both in a relationship, okay? When there's communication, that's the best in a relationship. Okay? Healthy boundaries is mutual agreement when you both agree on certain things. You're a team. It's not it's team. You're with the person. Mutual agreement. It doesn't matter what it's for. Mutual agreement to go out. Mutual agreement to chores in the house. Mutual agreement on who does what. You both have to agree to it. Mutual agreement. So it could work out. Those are healthy boundaries. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you about control. I gave my ex room all of his shit in the driveway and get out of the house. I love Is There Justice. She's so on point. I always tell her she's point blank, period. I always call her that because she's on point. She don't give a fuck. She just says it how it is. She said she gave her ex room all of his shit in the driveway and get out of the house. Absolutely. We'll give you space. Get the fuck out. That's so funny. So we're going to say about control, right? Control is always one-sided. That's what it looks like. One-sided rules. Or you can do something, but I can't. Type of deal. So they can do, but you can't. That doesn't work that way. How can somebody in the relationship be able to do something and allowed to do something, but you can't? It goes both ways. The saying is, don't do what you don't like being done to you. Respect what the other partner doesn't like and likes. The same with the other partner. But it's never one-sided. When it's one-sided, that's a fucking red flag. Okay? Another example of control is fear-based decisions. When they start to make decisions based on fear of losing you and shit like that, oof, that causes big problems. Another example of control is monitoring someone's every move. Imagine wasting that type of energy monitoring somebody's every move. God bless me, keep me safe. Absolutely. May God bless Teresa and everybody up in this chat. On my own, I love my life. Absolutely. Feels good, right, Teresa? You don't have to deal with that. Okay? Imagine how much energy a person's putting monitoring someone's every move. Oof. Watching who they're texting with, watching who they're talking to, watching where they're going, watching their location, showing up in places they're at. Oh my God. Watching them how they getting dressed, watching them what they're putting on. It's at this point you're a fucking surveillance camera. At this point, that's part of control. You're a surveillance camera, watching everything and you're monitoring it. But it's not watching only, it's you always got something to say about it. You always got something to say about their every move and everything they're gonna do. And when I say something to say, it's not positive. It's always negative shit. Right? Boundaries protects both people in a relationship, okay? Not just one person's fears. Boundaries are for both people in the relationship. Not for the person that fears that they're going to lose this person, fears this person's going to cheat on them, fears that that somebody else is going to talk to them, fears that they're going to do something behind their back. Absolutely not. When you're in a relationship, boundaries is for both of y'all. It benefits both of you. It should benefit both of you. It shouldn't benefit one-sided. You shouldn't have to accommodate your partner because they fear. Accommodate only their boundaries because they fear they're going to lose you or they fear you're going to cheat on them. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't allow people to do that to you either. Now, I'm going to ask you guys the hard question. Okay? Are you protecting the relationship or are you trying to control the outcome because you're scared of being hurt? I'm going to repeat it to you guys again. Are you protecting the relationship or are you trying to control the outcome because you're scared of being hurt? Trust me, I've been there. I thought I was protecting my marriage, but I was actually trying to control the outcome because I was afraid of being in a position that my husband was cheating on me. He was with somebody else. He was disrespecting me. It was fear. I didn't want people to hurt me. I've been hurt before. That's all it was. Fear of being hurt. So I want to control it from the beginning because I think that I can control his every move. Like I said before at the beginning of this live, you don't have to waste that energy doing that. If a person's going to cheat on you, if they're going to step out of your relationship, if they're going to go do things that you dislike, they're going to do it anyways. There's no need for that behavior. You're draining your life. You're draining yourself. I drained my life back then. I drained myself. For what? For nothing. If it was going to happen, it happened anyways. You ever seen partners that you accuse and accuse and accuse to the moment they go out and do? Yeah. You push them to do that. As crazy as that sounds. You guys got to remember, sometimes the real issue is fear, not the partner. It's not the person's partner that they fear, right? It's the fear within them of being hurt and betrayed and cheated on and all this stuff. It's just a fear. The real issue is the fear, not the partner. So it's not your partner. It's you. It's the fear you're carrying inside you. Okay? So, some of y'all swear you're protecting your relationship. But what you're really doing is controlling, suffocating, and slowly killing it. Those are behaviors that people disguise as love. Okay? You can't cage somebody and call it love. You can't do that. You can't cage them. Keep them like, it's like hostage. Like basically hostage. Keeping them like in a box. And you can't call that love. Absolutely not. Monitoring someone's every move isn't loyal to you guys. It's insecurity with a leash. Whew. Imagine that, insecurity with a leash. Have that person on a leash consistently, all the time, monitoring them on a leash because you're so insecure because you can't get it right. I also have to add, though, too, sometimes some people not only feel like that out of fear, but because their partner that they're with now has done that to them. They have stepped over the boundaries. They have cheated on them and shit like that. And this is why they behave this way. So we also got to see the other side, okay? You know, you can't start getting mad about friends and coworkers. Like I said, if a person's going to step out your relationship, they're going to do it anyways. You can't start policing the person's social media. Fucking probation officer, parole officer. Can't. And you can't, this is a big one right here. All right? Not letting your partner go out without you. Your partner deserves space. My husband does it all the time. I'm like, babe, can you go down to the pharmacy and get the medicine? He'll be like, oh, I'll be back. I'm going to go, earlier I went to get my nails done, guys. See, I got my toes and my nails done. These are my nails, my new nails. And he was there with me. He went with me. And then he's like, babe, I have to go do something. I have to go down to the job or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Cool, go ahead. And let him be. Because why do I want to hold him there? I don't need to have him there 24/7. Okay, you're going to go do something, go do it. Not letting your partner go out without you is sickening. That's sick. It's draining. You're going to get tired of each other, of being together 24 hours a day. And then they're going to feel like you're controlling them. So they're going to get annoyed with you. I know, I lived this firsthand. Okay? And see it this way. You didn't get a partner, you got a hostage. You're holding somebody hostage. You want somebody to love you and stuff like that. Hi, La Jefa. You didn't get a partner. You're holding them hostage. That's all you're doing. Keeping them closed up and caged up. It's not good. It's not healthy, you guys. It's not fucking healthy. Okay? And the constantly accusing of cheating with zero proof. No good. Can't constantly accuse somebody of cheating. You don't have no proof. But that comes from a person's insecurities. Read my first response about that. Oh yeah, I read it, baby girl. Love you too, baby girl. Then to isolate your partner from people, like, remember, these people were there before you. Instead of trying to isolate them from these people, what you try to do is you give your partner space, unless, like I said earlier, one of the people that are involved, like friends with your partner, they're causing problems in your relationship. Then you communicate. We were talking about communication earlier. You communicate it to your partner. Say, listen, this person is causing issues. They're disrespecting me. And you communicate it to your partner. And that's when your partner needs to step in and handle their business. But don't isolate them from people. Don't isolate them. It's wrong. You can't keep somebody just for you. They knew these people way before you came into the picture. And there's people way before you came into the picture that have routines. They go out and have lunch on a certain day. They go out with their friends on another day, and they've had that routine for a long time. You can't expect them to break that routine. They have right to their space. Okay? If you have to lock somebody down that fucking hard, deep down you already think you're not enough. That goes to show something about you. If you have to lock somebody down that fucking hard, deep down, you don't feel like you're enough. It's a you problem. You're insecure. You don't feel like you're enough for your partner. You don't feel like you're good enough. You don't feel like you're worthy. Where the fuck is your dignity? Where's your self-respect and self-worth? Feel good about yourself. My day is Sunday with my boys. Nobody steals that day. Absolutely. Look at Laura's giving us an example. And it's true. For all those that are friends with Laura on Facebook, we see her. She goes live all the time. Every Sunday, her boys go pick her up. They go on their motorcycles. They meet up, and then they make different pit stops, and just drive around and just share time together by themselves. Like, they'll eat here. They'll karaoke here. She shows us, it's a routine. Unless it's affecting your relationship, then that's when the communication comes in. A person doesn't have to change that. But you do have to reserve time for your partner. Like, let's say if you're making it about your friends all the time, that I would totally get it. But if it's just one day, let your partner do what they're doing. Let them have that breathing space. They did it before you came into the picture. Okay? And you got to remember, you're not protecting the relationship. You're protecting your ego. Because some people are egotistical motherfuckers. Protecting their own ego. That's all they fucking doing. And you know what? Controlling behaviors backfire. And bad. They do. They backfire and really bad. Your partner just starts to hide things from you. They don't want to be honest with you, and they stop being honest, and they feel like they're caged up, and emotionally they start to check out up here. Imagine being physically with somebody, but emotionally they're detached up here. They're not there, so you talk to them physically, but they're not there emotionally. You ever heard that saying that a woman, and they say this for a woman, but I think it happens for a man's perspective too. They say that when a person leaves a person emotionally, the body follows. When the mind leaves a person, the body follows, basically. So that means emotionally, mentally, they leave. When somebody leaves a relationship mentally, the body follows. Okay? You don't want to push your partner to those levels and to that behavior. You want to push them to that. If you love your partner, you want to make sure it works. And you got to start working on you. If you have these insecurities and you fear that your partner's going to cheat on you because of what you went through before or stuff like that, you need to start working on you. It's time to work on yourself. It's time to, look within you. Start doing a glow up internally. I did that. I started working on myself and working on the things that I lack on within myself, and working on the things I fuck up on, and certain behaviors. I started working on that. Start working on yourself. And then once you work on yourself, right? Once you work on yourself, if there's problems down the road with your partner, then now it's time to sit down with your partner and be like, and have communication. Comes both ways, you guys, okay? You squeezed the relationship so tight, it couldn't breathe. That's all it was, okay? And people romanticize jealousy. Let me tell you something. There's healthy jealousy and there's bad jealousy. There's a healthy jealousy. Well, that's my man, healthy jealousy. But to start hitting up people or, calling out people, making scenes in public. I've seen this shit, people. I've seen this shit. And let me tell you, I've lived it. I've done it to my husband. I've made scenes in public. That's not healthy. It's not a healthy jealousy. It's not right. Making scenes in public. I remember one time I went out with my husband, right? And when I went out with him, we were in a place, at this go-kart place. We took the kids so they can enjoy themselves. Boundaries need to be talked about before you start dating. Making sure you're on the same page. Absolutely, AJ. Yes, La Jefa. Yes, me. LOL. I've made a scene or two. I've made scenes. Trust me. Listen, I'm going to give you an example. I went out with my husband with the kids. We went to they went to go karting, and it was like this place where they go batting cages and shit like that. So we're in line, you guys, okay? And there was a whole bunch of girls, like not girls, they were like probably 20, 21. Whole bunch of them, probably like 8 of them. All the friends went there. And, you know, I watch my every move, okay? Like, I watch everything. Not because I'm watching them to see if they're looking at my man or, I mean, I was like that before. I'd watch a woman to see if she's going to look at my man, and I would watch my man to see if he was going to look or something. You know what? I used to do that before. But that day, we were just there chilling. And you know how you're looking in front of you, we're in line waiting, and they're right next to us, like on the other side of the bar of the ride. And I'm looking, and I look, and then they both look back, right? And then one whispers to the other, and then whispers to the other, and then the other girl turns around and looks back. And then they start talking. I'm like, oh, hell no. This is not it. And I made a hell of a scene over there. I was like, what the fuck's the problem? He's good looking, huh? Yep. You see me? He's married to me. Oh, I made a scene. I made myself look like a fool so many times, girl. Let me tell you something. No need to make myself look like a fool. I'm good enough. I feel beautiful. No need for that. I'm not going to make a fool out of myself anymore. I promised myself I would never make myself look like a fool. Unless it's totally necessary. Like, he's not flirting with a girl, she come flirting in front of me, she thinks she's cute. That's a different story. But like, I said, I'm not going to make myself look like a fool anymore. You know? I said, I'm going to change. I'm not going to continue to be this person. It's wrong. Because it goes to show how insecure I am. Oh, hell no. AJ says, no scene for me. I'll just smile until we get home. That's worse. I used to wait for that. I used to wait to get home to make a hell of a scene. It was worse. Hell no. I'm not fucking wasting no more energy in that. You don't need to make a scene at home. You don't need to get home and get into it. What you do, you sit down with your partner, you tell them what bothered you and what made you feel uncomfortable. And you both need to talk about it and tell them what's bothering you. That's it. I did that so many times. It's so draining. It's so mentally draining. And it goes to show how my low self-esteem was. And it goes to show my dignity. I was willing to drag at it, and my humility, everything. Like, fuck out of here. I'm not doing that. That's what I mean. Okay, no scene. Yeah, you guys can talk at home. You know what I'm saying? That's right. How about the people that use the I'm jealous because I love you? The I'm jealous because I love you. Absolutely not. Red flag. You know what I'm going to do, you guys? I'm going to buy a red flag. I need to get a red flag for my show. And every time I talk about something that's a red flag, I'm going to wave that shit right on the screen. I'm jealous because I love you. No, absolutely not. You're jealous because you're jealous and you're insecure. Big difference. You can love somebody and not be unhealthy, like take jealousy to the to the extreme. You know what I'm saying? And make it unhealthy. But don't use that as an excuse. I'm jealous because I love you. Absolutely not. You're jealous because you have issues, and they're within yourself. Your own issues. That's what it is. Oh, this is a good one. I'm just protecting what's mine. What? I'm protecting what's mine. I've heard that a few times from my husband. Trust me. I'm protecting what's mine. What? Am I a property? Am I a vehicle? What? It's good to feel protected with your husband if somebody is disrespecting you somewhere. But like, you're making a scene, you're being jealous and doing some shit, doing some bullshit like that because you're protecting what's yours. No, you're not. I am not no one's property. Absolutely. That's what I was trying to say, Jen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're not nobody's property. You're not protecting what's yours. I'm yours. Yeah, we're together. You're mine. I'm yours. But it's not property. I'm not a property. You don't need to protect it unless there's somebody that's going to hurt your property. You know what I'm saying? Unless somebody's disrespecting it or crossing boundaries with your property. But just because you're insecure, you're not going to be using that line because it's not going to work. Okay? And if your relationship needs constant policing, like somebody being like a police consistently, trust was already dead. There was no trust there. And that's true because I told you guys earlier that I was constantly policing my marriage, right? And it's because trust was already broken, okay? Trust was already broken within the marriage. Not once, not twice, a few times. Okay? On both ends. And it was dead. So I was constantly policing my marriage. And sometimes he would do it to me. Because the trust was dead. It was gone out the fucking door. It takes time to build trust back. Trust me. It takes a lot of effort and time to be able to trust your partner again. Okay? You know, when you're controlling, you start to tell your partner, you're not allowed to do that. You can't do that. Why? You're not allowed to do that? I didn't know I was with my father. You get what I'm saying, you guys? People that tell you, you're not allowed to do that. A partner tells you that shit. Well, all right. I didn't know you were my dad or my mom. When did you become my dad or my mom instead of my partner and my love? That I'm not allowed to do something. What? That's crazy to me. But you set the boundary. See, the difference is this is a boundary right here. You start to tell them, I'm uncomfortable with this behavior. You can tell your partner that I'm uncomfortable with this behavior. That's boundaries. The difference. The control is you're not allowed to do that. You have right to speak up to your partner. You can tell them, I feel uncomfortable with this behavior. I don't feel comfortable with it. You can tell them. That's why they're there. To listen to you. To have conversation. To communicate. Communication is key, like I said. But going straight to you're not allowed to do that, you're controlling. Some people use the word boundary when they actually mean obedience. They want you to be obedient to them. They don't want boundaries. They want you to be obedient and do what they say. That's all it is. That's a big red flag, bro. I wish I had a little red flag just to fucking wave it in the screen. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't want a partner. They want possession. Watering your partner's grass for investing time, effort, and attention. Absolutely, AJ. I agree. AJ says, watering your partner's grass for investing time, effort, and attention. Absolutely. You guys got to water each other's grass. Both of you. You're both there together. It's not one-sided. Okay? I'm just going to tell you this, right? You can't force loyalty on nobody. I learned that the hard way. You can't force somebody to be loyal to you. In a relationship, you can't force nobody to be loyal to you. And even if it's a friendship, you can't force people to be loyal to you. That has to come out of them. Loyalty comes from the other person. You can't force it out of them. You can't force nobody to do anything they don't want to do or behave in a certain manner. You can't suffocate someone into loving you. You can't force anybody to love you and suffocate and push it on them. It has to come from them, within them. The more you try to control someone, the faster they'll start looking for oxygen somewhere else. Oof, I said this earlier. The more you try to control somebody, the faster they're looking for oxygen with someone else. You're trying to find an out with somebody else and talk to other people. You're pushing them right into somebody else's arms. You basically tell them, go cheat on me. Go do it. Because they don't want to be around you. Nobody wants to be with a controlling partner. Absolutely nobody. If your love feels like a cage, don't be shocked when someone eventually tries to escape. No, you got to weed your garden to make room for new growth. Absolutely. Only then you can water your land to flourish. Ooh, I like that one. You got to weed your garden. Exactly. You know what, Laura? That's a good saying. You got to weed your garden, meaning you got to start doing the internal growth, the internal glow up. I know what she's saying. The internal cleansing of yourself. Because when you're internally cleansed and you've worked on yourself and these little behaviors, that's what Laura's saying. And then new growth comes in, good growth. Take out all the negative, because weed is negative. Weed in a garden is negative. It's killing everything else around it. Only then you can water your land to flourish. That's good. It's true. Only then you can start flourishing in life with your partner. That's a good saying, Laura. I like that. I like that you shared that. I liked that you said that, because it totally makes sense, okay? Now, love isn't supposed to feel like someone is holding you too tightly to breathe, okay? A healthy relationship doesn't survive because one person is controlling everything. It survives because both people choose each other freely. See, not caged up, freely. They choose each other freely. They want to be with each other. They desire each other. They love each other. They care for each other. If someone has to feel trapped just to stay with you, that's not protection. That's suffocation. You're suffocating your partner. You're not protecting your partner to keep them there. It's suffocating. That's all the fuck you're doing. You both are supposed to feel free in your relationship, not trapped. Because then you start suffocating each other, or suffocating one or the other. And then they don't want to be around you. They don't want to spend time with you. They don't want to answer those phone calls you used to make to them. They will make up excuses just not to talk to you. They will make up excuses just not to hang out with you. They will do anything to be away from you because they don't want to feel like they're cornered and trapped and walking on eggshells. You need to respect your partner's boundaries, and you both need to be in mutual agreement with these boundaries because it's not one-sided. You need to respect your partner's feelings and their friends and the people that surround them. And if something is uncomfortable, you can communicate that with your partner. That's all you got to do. You want to make a relationship work? Stop suffocating your partner. Stop overwhelming them. Stop crossing boundaries of looking through their private messages and through their social media and their phone texts and trying to figure out who they're talking to, who they're with, what's their location. Stop doing that. You're not going to get anywhere. That's coming from a person that did this. And I've been on the other side of the fence too. All you're going to do is drain yourself unnecessarily. You're going to make yourself sick. You're going to just, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to get nothing out of it. Whoever's going to do you dirty, they're going to do you dirty anyways. Work on you. Work on your confidence. Work on your inner person. Because once you work on you and you feel confident and you feel beautiful, that's what happened to me. I started to work on myself, keep myself pretty, keep myself feel good about myself, confident and all this stuff. I didn't have the need to do none of that because I know my worth and I know my place. And if he chooses to walk out and do whatever outside of this marriage, it'll be his loss. But I'm not going to sit there and monitor his every move. I'm not going to waste the energy. I'm not going to invest it. I'm not going to invest that type of energy. I'm not going to do that to myself. I'm not going to drive myself crazy. And I did it before. And I vouched to myself that I won't do it again. I'm not going to do it anymore. Okay? Not gonna do it anymore. And I'm telling you guys this out of experience. I've lived it. You guys could take the advice and take this information and bring it within yourselves, put it into perspective in your life, put it into use, start working on yourself. You can take it or you can leave it, and then you'll see what'll be the end result of your relationship. You're gonna see. You will see. You're gonna see for yourself, and then you're gonna sit back after that person left and think about it and be like, wow, I should have done this, I should have done that, I got to work on me. You're going to start to reflect. You're not going to get anywhere by behaving like this with your partner. Trust me, you're not going to get anywhere. And this was a wonderful topic, and I can talk about this because I've been in that situation, in this predicament. I've been like this towards my partner, my husband, and he's also been like that to me in the past. Now we give each other space. He goes here, he goes there. He goes to work. He goes to the store without me. He goes do this, do that, and I do the same. He has his car now. I have my car. He goes and I go. He doesn't have to turn on locations for me or none of that stuff. I don't want to drain myself, and I know what I'm worth. Not doing it anymore. But anyways, you guys, I appreciate you guys being here tonight, listening to this topic. I hope it helps some of you guys kind of reevaluate your relationship, where you stand, and I hope it helped you guys kind of like think about things you're doing wrong in a relationship, or what your partner's doing wrong in the relationship. I hope you guys kind of keep this in thought and put some of this into use, and hope you keep it within you so you guys can like watch out for these signs and also not do it to others too. I appreciate you guys being here tonight with me. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful evening, you guys. I appreciate you guys investing time here with me. Again, thank you for everything. Thank you for supporting my channel. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and invite your friends. Invite them to subscribe as well. And I hope this is at use and helpful for you guys when I talk about these things. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Again, I am your host, The Unforgettable. And you have just listened to me in the Unfiltered Corner. I will see you guys tomorrow at 7 p.m. here, 7 p.m. Eastern time. We will be talking about something else tomorrow. God bless you. Good night and peace.